A mother's fight for survival. The snowstorm raged across the frozen tundra, turning the world into a swirling white abyss. The howling wind carried ice shards that cut through the air like tiny daggers. In the midst of this brutal storm, Arka, a strong and determined polar bear mother, trudged forward, her massive paws sinking into the deep snow. Behind her, her two cubs, Nuka and Bora, struggled to keep up, their tiny legs trembling with exhaustion. The sky was a heavy shade of gray, filled with storm clouds that showed no mercy. Arka's breath came out in thick clouds of mist as she pushed forward, knowing that stopping meant death. She needed to find shelter, fast. Through the blinding snow, Arka spotted a dark opening at the base of a massive ice-covered mountain. A cave. With the last of her strength, she guided her cubs inside. The cave was cold, but offered protection from the storm. Icicles hung from the ceiling like frozen daggers, and the floor was covered in a layer of frost. Arka curled up around her cubs, wrapping them in her warmth. Outside, the storm roared, but inside, for the first time in hours, they were safe, at least for now. Not far from the cave, a shadow moved silently through the storm. A hungry black-furred wolf, its body covered in frost, prowled through the deep snow. Its golden eyes glowed with hunger, its sharp nose picking up the faint scent of prey. It stopped, ears twitching. A cave. Inside, food. The wolf crouched low, calculating its approach. It had been days since its last meal, and the scent of fresh meat was irresistible. Inside the cave, Arka sensed something. Her instincts screamed danger. She lifted her head, ears perked, sniffing the icy air. Something was out there, watching. A low growl echoed through the cave entrance. Arka stood up, her massive body blocking her cubs from view. The wolf stepped forward, its breath visible in the freezing air, teeth bared, eyes locked onto its target. With a deafening roar, Arka lunged. The wolf dodged, its claws scraping against the icy ground. The two powerful predators clashed, their roars and growls filling the cave. The wolf snapped at Arka's throat, but she swiped her powerful paw, sending it tumbling into the snow. The cubs huddled in fear behind a frozen rock, their small eyes wide with terror. The fight raged on, the cave shaking with the force of their battle. The battle spilled outside where the storm had calmed, leaving the land eerily quiet. The wolf, now wounded and desperate, snarled as it circled Arka, looking for an opening. But Arka was stronger. She let out a final, thunderous roar and charged. The wolf, caught off guard, stepped back, right onto the edge of an icy cliff. A loud crack echoed as the ice beneath it shattered. The wolf let out a final, haunting howl as it plummeted into the dark abyss below. Snow and ice settled, and silence returned. Arka, breathing heavily, stood victorious. The first rays of sunlight pierced through the clouds, casting a golden glow over the frozen landscape. The storm was gone, leaving behind a world of untouched white beauty. Arka turned to her cubs, who ran to her, pressing their tiny bodies against her warmth. She nuzzled them gently, a deep, comforting rumble in her chest. As the cold wind whispered through the icy peaks, Arka led her cubs forward. A new day had begun, and with it, the promise of survival, love, and the unbreakable bond of a mother's protection.